The Celtics' problems were self-inflicted against the Detroit Pistons. They had it. They should have won it, but they didn't. We're talking about it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT, Karalis. We kept the madness every game, every practice. Primetime Depp D. White on the sideline. Raining Jays, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them every Monday through Friday. I'm the number one Boston Celtics podcast in the world. I'm the number one sports podcast network in the world, and that's all thanks to you, the everydayer who is with me Monday through Friday, plus bonus podcasts. This weekend, they play Friday and Saturday. I'll have bonus podcasts for you there. They're all free. They're available everywhere. They're on YouTube. Get into the comment section there. Share your thoughts. I'm John Karalis. If you're new to the show, I'm a beat writer covering the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. I've been doing a version of this job for about 20 years, doing this podcast for 10, and I've written a couple books about the team as well. Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your live bets on the NFL and the NBA all season long. Later on in the third segment, I'll explain, we'll get into some of the zone defense that the Celtics were trying. I do enjoy the fact that the Celtics tried some zone defense. They played twice as much zone in this game than they did all season long. Also in the third segment, I'm going to tell a story about a piece of pie. I'm not kidding. A piece of pie that made this one of the weirdest nights of my life. Okay. And it's completely basketball related. I'm going to tell that story at the end of the podcast. So that's it. In the second segment, we'll get into the bench. We'll get into Jaylen Brown. I want to start, though, with the reason why the Celtics lost this game 112-105 to the Detroit Pistons. Self-inflicted wounds. The Celtics' mistakes were so costly in this game. They did it to themselves. And the cold shooting didn't help either. The Celtics had the turnovers were killers. It felt like every turnover the Celtics had led to points. They turned it over 13 times, which is not a lot, but 17 points off those turnovers. They only had 2 more turnovers, but they gave up 6 more points off of those turnovers. They had 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter alone. And not only that, the fouls, the missed shots, the mistakes. You go through the fourth quarter, the Celtics were down 104-102. Derrick White hits a jump shot. They come back down. Jaylen Brown bites on a Tobias Harris up fake. So that self-inflicted wound, stay down on the fakes. And he said it after the game. He needed to stay down on that fake. Bites on a fake, right? Jaylen mentally was not sharp mentally. He had a great game overall. I mean, obviously, and again, I'll get into that in the next segment, but Jaylen Brown's Freudian slip there. Jaylen Brown's overall game, like the numbers, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks, a steal. That's 52% shooting. Awesome. But too many brain farts in this one, and that was one of them. So he bites on the fake, he gives up 2 free throws. So I don't know what would have happened there, but if the Celtics had defended well and maybe gotten a stop there, they would have had the ball down 2 with 2 and change left to go. Okay? So they didn't. Jaylen gets fouled, misses 2 free throws. Again, now Jaylen at the line has been much better this season. He's been really good in the month of December on a fairly high volume. But in this one, misses these 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. He shot 7 of 14 from the line overall. Fourth quarter, those 2 free throws were he took 4. So he was 2 for 4 in the fourth quarter. So he misses those 2. Come down, Cunningham hits a jump shot. Derrick White hits a 3. Cunningham comes down and answers. Then Derrick White, hero of the fourth quarter, no doubt, Derrick White turnover. And not just a turnover, he just lost it. He was dribbling, and the ball just said, nope, I'm going to Javonte Green. I want to go to him now, like a baby going to its, oh, daddy's holding him. Nope, no, I'm going to mommy. I want mommy now. The ball just magnet, it just, he lost it. I can't even explain it. So, okay, bad turnover. Come down. Celtics, that's an empty possession. Celtics get the, I think this is where they get the challenge. Then Pritchard, there was a challenge earlier where Jaylen Brown had a turnover. They won the challenge, and Jaylen Brown just turned it over, just made a bad pass and gave it right back. Payton Pritchard misses a shot with 36 seconds to go. Misses it so far right. Like, we were looking at each other on press row, like, how did he miss it that bad? And it's just a missed shot, but it was that was an outrageously bad miss. How does Payton Pritchard miss that poorly, that badly? So, self-inflicted stuff. The Celtics had opportunities, bad turnovers, bad foul. And that's where in the fourth quarter, Cade Cunningham had a great fourth quarter, no doubt. Derrick White had also a better fourth quarter. His fourth quarter, 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, is better than 9 points on 4 of 7 shooting for Cade Cunningham, who had an assist. So did Derrick White. Like, Derrick White outplayed Cade Cunningham in the fourth quarter. But because the Celtics had the, it was one of those nights where it doesn't even look right. You can't even, when does Derrick White turn the ball over like that? And he knew it. It's just one of those crazy nights. When has Jaylen Brown this season? 7 of 14? And it's funny because he was so good in so many ways, but then you look at him and you're like, oh, what's Jaylen doing out there? But I'm going to save that for the cold shooting also killed them. 1 of 10 from 3 in the third quarter. 0 of 8 from 3 in the second quarter. So the Celtics come out they started out fine. Their first quarter, 33-25, they played really well in that first quarter. Payton Pritchard came out hot. Jaylen Brown was hitting like tough shots. They looked really good. Second quarter, okay, they were up 8. Then they were up 4. They went 0 for 8 from 3 in the second quarter and still only lost 4 points off their lead because they were still doing other things. They were still getting to the line. They were mitigating the damage. And even in the third quarter, it could have been much, much worse in the third quarter. They lost that third quarter by 8. They were 1 of 10 from 3. But they got to the line a bunch. In fact, third quarter sucked because it was just a parade of fouls. There was no flow to that third quarter. It was gross. I don't know if they were complaining about it in the broadcast, but I was just sitting there watching that third quarter like, oh my God, just wake me up when this quarter is over. But the Celtics still hung around and gave themselves an opportunity. They went from up 4 to down 4 after 3 quarters. So they were still right there. But too many missed shots, too many turnovers. Obviously, the Pistons are tough. They're going to have second chances. Obviously, Cade Cunningham is tough. They are the number 1 team for a reason. The Celtics, if they played a cleaner game, if they hit a normal amount of shots, I don't have access to the expected shots, but I'm willing to bet that whatever the expected number is, that it would have been Celtics would have won this game by probably double digits. if they hit the expected amount. They were 10 of 39 from 3 overall. And that's with Derrick White hitting 5 of 12. So quick math, 5 of 27 for the rest of the Celtics is very, very bad. 1 of 5 for Jaylen, 1 of 2 for Jordan Walsh, 2 of 8 for Pritchard. He hit his first couple and missed the rest. 0 of 5 for Simons, 0 of 2 for Minot, 0 of 2 for Baylor. Just rough. You can't. The Celtics need to hit shots. They need to. I mean, obviously, you need to hit shots to win, but the Celtics, it just needs to go a certain way. And if they're not hitting shots, they're not going to make up for it in a lot of other ways. And you got to be almost perfect in every other phase for the Celtics to win without making 3-pointers. And they weren't perfect in every other phase. That's how you lose this game. Let's get into Jaylen Brown and some of the other individual performances, but Jaylen especially because, as you can tell, I'm torn. I'm torn on what kind of game he had, because it should have been Jaylen was awesome, but he wasn't awesome. He was also not awesome for a long stretch of this as well. That's coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. You get one big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's why that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. If you're not just watching the game, you get to react to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, the receiver gets hot, defense tightens up, the momentum flips after a turnover. This applies to the NBA as well. A shooter gets hot, defense tightens up, turnover flips the momentum. It all applies there too. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet things like in football, the next touchdown scorer, the drive results, totals, and more. So go to FanDuel.com if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season. FanDuel is going to ask you when you sign up to set a limit, set a budget. Please do that so you can gamble responsibly. Whatever your disposable income is, whatever you're okay with losing in case you hit a cold streak, that's your budget. They'll stop you if you hit a cold streak. And then, in a couple of weeks, you can come back to it. It's okay. So head on over to FanDuel.com, place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Now, enhance that. Take it up a level and join the Everydayer Club. Go to Locked On Celtics at supercast.com. Locked On Celtics at supercast.com to sign up for the Everydayer Club. $5 a month or $50 a year. Ad-free audio for Locked On Celtics. So the ads out for $5 a month. An invite to the members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server. Exclusive access to national bonus shows. Members-only Locked On merch store. It's all there. And if we're on your Spotify Wrapped, then prove it. Show us on social media. Tag the Locked On Podcast Network. You'll get $5 off. They'll send you a code for a free month of the Everydayer Club. So go check that out and join the rest of the Everydayers with me, who are here Monday through Friday. Again, bonus podcasts when the Celtics have these Friday or Saturday games. So check that out as well. Jaylen Brown had, in raw terms, an incredible game. He, again, scored 34 points. He shot 52% from the field. 1 of 5 from 3, which is not great. 7 of 14 from the line, which is bad, right? Obviously, 50% from the line. He had 8 rebounds. He had 7 assists, a steal, 3 blocks. He had 4 turnovers, and the turnovers were bad. Like, the turnovers were, I think, part of a big problem. Like, he just coughed them up. Like, they weren't. It felt like this was this duality. It was Jaylen, like old Jaylen, where his head wasn't quite there, and he just got picked clean over and over again. Bad passes, get himself into trouble, driving without an outlet. The turnover with 4 minutes to go after the challenge. The Celtics were down 6 at that point. All of these little opportunities, Celtics down 6, Celtics down 4, Celtics down 2, to change the momentum of the game. And there's Jaylen somewhere in there making a play or missing free throws that kill that momentum somehow. But there's also the Jaylen who's having the type of season that gets him on the NBA's MVP ladder. And he said it after the game, he was pissed at himself. He was not happy with the game that he had. And I think for the second straight game, he, in this one, it was Isaiah Stewart, and the last game was Bobby Portis. I think if I'm another team, I'm gonna start poking and prodding. I'm gonna start trying to annoy the hell out of Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna see if I can get in his face. I'm gonna tell my guy, who's my most demonstrative guy, go out there, celebrate in his face, take a tech. I don't care if you take a tech. Go out there and needle him and see if you can bait him into a little too ISO. Because I think in both of these games, Jaylen has responded to some sort of altercation by just going a little too one-on-one. I think he wants to, I don't know, maybe gets too caught up in it. I don't know what it is. But he said after the game that he was not mentally, it was not his best mentally focused game. You could see it. Just, he was shaking his head after running back on defense. He just wasn't fully there, present in the moment. Now, again, it's amazing that Jaylen is here, because 3 years ago, maybe, if he had this kind of game, it wouldn't have been 34 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. It would have been 14 points, no rebounds, 1 assist, and 8 turnovers. The way he played in this game, the way mentally he was not fully engaged, it did remind me of those old games. But at the same time, he puts up these incredible numbers. So this is why I'm torn. 34, 8, and 7 is a remarkable number. 34, 8, 7, a steal, 3 blocks, and 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers for a guy who played 40 minutes and 29 seconds, a season high, handling the ball as much as he does. 4 turnovers is nothing. Cade Cunningham had 3 in 36 minutes. So another 4 minutes of play, he would have had another one. No one would blink at that. Derrick White had 4 turnovers in 38 minutes. It's, it happens. Now, again, all 4 of these turnovers were live ball turnovers. They were all just kind of not the best. And I just, I'm hoping that Jaylen can start responding to these little moments just by breathe, focus, and just do what you do best. Because Jaylen doing what he does best is again, MVP consideration type of thing. Now, to be fair, Jaylen was spraying the ball, and he did have 7 assists on a night where the Celtics shot 46% and 25.5% from 3. He still had 7 assists, and that does say a lot. This is not getting on Jaylen. I'm just saying, I think when Portis or Thomas, not Thomas, Stewart get into a little kind of one-on-one thing, I just think that Jaylen gets a little too caught up in the one-on-one thing and just want to stick to the move the ball, make the right reads, keep your head on, keep focused, and don't get caught up in that stuff. Because the free throw stuff is mental. The 7 of 14 from the line is mental. The types of turnovers that he had is mental. And he said it after the game. I'm not getting on him unfairly because he's the one who said it, that this was not his best mentally sharp game. He could have had all of these same numbers with maybe a few more assists, maybe a triple-double for all we know. But just hitting the free throws. I mean, he missed 7 free throws. The Celtics lost by 7. Just hitting a few of those free throws. Like if he had hit 3 or 4, that changes the dynamic of the game because of when they were taken, So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go too far because he's having an all NBA season. But these two things that have happened in the past 2 games, it does raise a question of, do you get too caught up in that? Okay, what we'll do is we'll continue this. We'll have, we'll do more individual performances because I thought Neemias Queta had a good game. We'll get into the bench scoring because the bench was not what it needed to be. And then the zone, I got a lot to talk about when we come back. And then my story about pie, the weirdest night of my life at TD Garden. It's all coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Skims. When Skims announced that they were making underwear for men, the reaction from my wife made perfect sense because she's been wearing Skims for a long time. And she said, you're going to love them because I love mine. And this is going to be great. She was right. She's right most of the time. Most guys, we do the same thing, right? Most of us will go to like a big box store and get like a case of boxer briefs for like $10. And like, that's it. We're all set. We're good. It's time to be grown up. It's time to be a big boy and get something that feels good, that fits right. So Skims has these 5-inch stretch, which I like, boxer briefs. The fit, the fabric, it's soft, it's supportive, it's comfortable. They don't ride up. They don't lose their shape. When I go to the gym, when I'm working out, it just feels comfortable. They stay in place. I'm not doing that little guy trick of like shifting and trying to, discreetly. No, everything just stays where it's supposed to stay. So didn't expect underwear to be a game changer, but Skims completely surprised me. Shop Skims men's now at skims.com. When you place your order, choose podcast in the post-purchase survey. This is really important. Select our show from the drop-down menu to let them know we sent you. This is the only way they're going to know. So shop at skims.com. Plus, the Skims holiday shop is open. If you're looking for the perfect gift this season, Skims has you covered. Today's show is also brought to you by Wayfair. The holidays show up faster than we expect. This is the December 16th show. We're in single digits on the way to Christmas. So are you having people over? Do you need a quick room refresh? Do you need some new bedding? Do you need the final touches? Maybe you need some gifts. Wayfair has it all. It's a one-stop shop for everything. Decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, gifts for every style, every budget. It's all delivered quickly and easily. The selection is huge, whatever you're looking for. So, as I've said many times, my wife loves to text me Wayfair links to the new couch, the new whatever, when she wants to refresh a room. And we go back and forth. And, with whatever your budget is, they're going to have something for you. Very easy to shop by style. It picks pieces that actually fit your home. You're not just guessing if it fits or not. And it's perfect for gifting too. They've got guides, tons of options, and something for everyone on every budget. No massive delivery fees, no stress. Get last-minute hosting essentials, gifts for all of your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Why not go check out Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night? They're both in the same feed. I do Game Night on Wednesdays, which means I'm covering the Tuesday night slate in the NBA with Jake Madison of Locked On Pelicans. And this Tuesday night is one game, the Cup Championship. So join me, join Jake on Game Night. Game Night's a 7-day-a-week podcast, and Locked On NBA is 5 days a week, covering all the big stories. So check it out wherever you found this podcast. A couple of quick individual performances, just a quick rundown through this. Neemias Queta, I thought the Celtics had a 14-0 run in the second quarter. I thought he was a big part of that. And as part of the Celtics going zone, he was, I think the Celtics were able to put a run together to grab rebounds. But Cato was part of this. The Celtics early on were giving up too many offensive rebounds. Cato started really rebounding, and the Celtics went on a big run. Cato also had 2 dribble drives, which was weird. Like, he just put the ball on the deck and finished one layup and then finished one big monster dunk. So nice game from him. Also, Jordan Walsh started in this game. A weird game for Jordan. He's become too important to have stupid fouls, and he had the first one in the first quarter. Like, it was a stupid foul because he was on the left-hand side of a right-handed shooter. He was kind of out of position. He wasn't going to block the shot, but he still followed through and hit the left hand and put, I forget who it was, on the line. And then on the rebound, he got called for an offensive, a loose ball foul and had to sit. Now that brought in Hugo Gonzalez, and Hugo did okay. He was kind of up and down again as well, but he came in and did pretty well defending Cade Cunningham. He had one really nice box out early, I think it was second quarter, and then hit a 3-pointer. I forget exactly when that was, but that was nice. But we didn't see a lot of Jordan Walsh, and he didn't play down the stretch. And it's just one of those, like, okay, Joe even said after the game, Joe Mazzulla said, we needed more offense down the stretch, which tells you a little bit about, where Jordan Walsh still is. But the bad fouls, fouling is an issue for him. It's been an issue for him. He's got to stay on the floor. The part of why the Celtics went on that big kind of stretch, the 5 games in a row, was because Jordan was playing a lot and playing great and getting those steals and getting out into transition. And he wasn't able to really do much of that because he had the 2 early fouls. At the same time, Josh Minot played 13 minutes and really did nothing. He had 0, 0, 0s all the way across the board, 0 points, 0 for 2 from 3. Jordan was 1 for 2 from 3. I think we're going to start seeing some of these 3-point percentages start to level off with these guys. So these wing players that were kind of playing over their heads, I don't know if we're seeing a little bit of settling down, but we'll see what happens. Friday's a big night, I think, for this team. Friday is, the Miami is going to be on a back-to-back. They play this kind of like funky offense. There's not a ton of pick and rolls. The Celtics have 3 days to prepare for this. They can watch a lot of film. They can game plan. This is an important game to kind of get back on track. Important one for Jordan Walsh. I think the defensive game plan is going to have to be on point against Miami. If they can shut that down and get back on track, that'll make these 2 losses to Milwaukee and to Detroit feel a little bit better. No shame in losing to Detroit, but it's just how they lost. Like, they could have won this game. They didn't play great against Milwaukee. They got kind of punked in that one, but they had an opportunity to win this game. I would say they probably should have won this game, but they just, the execution was poor. And Jordan, Hugo was okay, but like still not a ton out of him. Josh had to be better. Sam Hauser played 4 minutes and left with a sprained ankle, so they couldn't get anything out of him. Baylor Shireman was, played 15 minutes, but didn't give them anything offensively. Gave him some things defensively, but the individuals here are not playing the way they played in that 5 games, 5 straight wins kind of mode. So they need to step up a little bit more. 47 to 14, the final bench scoring for Detroit. Yeah, 47 to 14. That looks like a football blowout. The Celtics are not going to put up a ton of bench points, but where's Anfernee Simons in this? He didn't have a bad game. And Joe left him in because he said he liked what Simons was giving them offensively, but 0 of 5 from 3. I don't know what it is. If he's still not comfortable or what, he has to settle down and start becoming he needs to be scoring 15 points himself off the bench, right? He needs to be that guy. Then you can get, hey, Hugo comes in and gives you, he was a +9. He gave you 5 points. You need to get like 5 points here, 5 points there. If Anfernee Simons is giving you 15 and the other 3 or 4 guys give you 4 or 5 points apiece, well, now you're looking at 30 points, 30 bench points, and getting outscored 47-30 is still not great, but it's better than 47-14. So Anfernee needs to be that guy. He has to be the one to settle down and lead that bench scoring. It's as simple as that. The Celtics played zone. They came, according to Synergy Sports, they came into this game playing 16 possessions. 16 possessions in 25 games. 16 possessions of zone. In this game alone, they played 17, according to Synergy. And it was effective for a lot of time. Like they had, I broke it down on Boston Sports Journal. They had, what is it? The first 10 possessions, 6 shots missed by the Pistons, 3 turnovers, and one of them, they end up getting fouled. So out of the first 10 possessions, 9 empty trips. And that's huge. And then the next 7 possessions, they did make 4 out of 5 shots. They turned it over once, and then they got a foul. So it was less effective as the game went on, but I like the fact that they're trying some zone. This is good. You have to try. And I think so many times playing zone, it becomes an ego thing in the NBA. Like, oh, we're too good to be playing zone. You play man. If you want to play defense, you play man. Like, yeah, that's great. That's all great. But it's a tool that you can use. And if you can play it effectively, then play zone. Who cares? Play some zone. Everybody goes gaga over, Eric Spoelstra. He's such a great coach. He's such a good, all of this stuff. And so much of his defense over the years has just been random zones for a long time. And like, he's a coaching genius. So why not use more zone? And against the Pistons, against a team that has questionable 3-point shooting, yeah, if they're a team that loves to get into the paint and you're trying to pack the paint, zone every once in a while helps. You can't play a whole game of zone because the NBA is too good. You can't play a whole game of anything because the NBA is too good. But going zone for 2-3 possessions until they figure it out, if you can win 3 possessions, that gives you the opportunity to win the game, right? A close game, tight game. If all of a sudden you've created these pockets of 2 or 3 empty possessions here, 2 or 3 empty possessions there, you give yourself a really good chance. So I'm glad that they played some zone. I'm glad that it was effective for at least a fair amount of it. And I want to see more. But of course, it's matchup dependent. So you can't just throw it out there. You can't throw it out there against a good shooting team. Like playing zone against Milwaukee, that's kind of like death. But against the Pistons, it can be effective. So work on it. Use it. All right. So we're 34 minutes into the podcast. Now I can tell my story about pie, which starts with me talking to Rick Mahorn. And those of you who are old enough, like me, to remember the 80s, you know that Rick Mahorn is one of the great villains of Celtics history because he played for the bad boy Pistons. He's a big dude that, would hit, and he would do everything that the bad boy Pistons did. And so I've been around, like I've seen him before, but this is my one chance. Like I got a chance to actually talk to him pregame. And I told him the same thing I told Isaiah Thomas, not Boston's Isaiah Thomas, the Detroit Isaiah Thomas. I've told them both the same thing now. So listen, growing up in the 80s in New England, watching these Celtics, watching the battles that they had, I'm going to tell you the greatest compliment that I can give you is that I hated you so much when I was growing up. And Rick laughed and it's like, well, that means you loved me because, and I agree, I loved to hate them and I love to hate the Pistons. And hate is a strong emotion because there's love. Love and hate are both two sides of the same coin. And so I told Rick that, you know, I hated him, but I ended up understanding that it was because I respected, like, even when I was playing basketball, whenever I went up against an opponent that really gave me a hard time and it was really like physical battle, I would, first person I'd go, congratulate after the game, be like, you know, win or lose, I'd be like, that was awesome. That was awesome. You beat the hell out of me. We beat the hell out of each other. That was amazing. And so I respect those kinds of opponents. And so I respect, ultimately, I still don't like Lambeer. I still don't like the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, but I have a ton of respect for Rick Mahorn. And so we had a good conversation, which brings me to halftime of the game where we're sitting on press row and my seat is 2 seats over from him doing the radio broadcast. And I get up, it's halftime. I've done whatever work I'm doing. And then I get up to stretch my legs a little bit. And he kind of like waves me over and he pulls open a paper plate with tin foil over it, aluminum foil over it, and has pumpkin pie. And he gives me a slice of pumpkin pie. And I'm like, this is nice. This is nice. I have Rick Mahorn gave me a piece of pie to eat at halftime. It's a sentence I've never ever thought I'd say. In my wildest dreams, you would have told me as I'm watching the 80s Celtics Pistons battles, hey, John, in 40 years, that dude, Rick Mahorn's going to give you a piece of pumpkin pie at halftime of a game. I just lose my mind. I don't know why, but it's freaking me out. It is freaking me out. It's such a weird night. We had 2 dribble drives from Nemish Queta down the middle of the lane, and then Rick Mahorn is giving me pie at the halftime. I'm like, what is going on? Am I going to be abducted by aliens? I'm glad I played the Powerball. Maybe I'll hit the lottery because weird stuff is happening to me today. To say Rick Mahorn, bad boy Pistons, gave me a piece of pumpkin pie at halftime is just one of the all-time surreal moments in a life of surreal moments because of this job that I get to do. That one really blew my mind because it's so random. It's so random. So I had to tell that story, and I waited till the end because no one wanted to hear that at the beginning of the story, at the beginning of the podcast. All right, that's it. It's on my Instagram. I don't know. It's something I'm going to think about from time to time. Be like, what is my life? What is this? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll be back all week. So podcast all week, podcast Friday night, podcast Sunday night. So 7 days of podcasting this week. We're going to take it all into next week. There's a game the following Friday. So basically 2 straight weeks of podcasting. It's all free. It's available everywhere. If you want to get it ad-free, you can pay $5 a month to join the Everydayer Club at LockedOnCeltics.supercast.com. $5 a month or $50 for the year. So you get 2 months off if you pay ahead of time to get ad-free audio, access to the Everydayer Club Discord server, bonus shows, Locked On merch, members only stuff there. So you can check that out. If we're on your Spotify Wrapped, then show us, tag it on tag the Locked On Podcast Network. You'll get a code for a free month. So do that. And then I would love it if you shared the podcast, tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.